So Geoff Hurst, West Ham United and England legends, World Cup final, hat-trick hero. Here we are in the shadow of the Olympic Stadium, and it's going to be West Ham United's new home. Just your initial thoughts and reaction to the news.
Well, nice introduction, thank you, but I'm here as a fan. I think as a fan of the club, it's fantastic. It's a historic day. I'm so excited and thrilled about the prospect of coming here. I think all the questions were answered at the press conference, but the club has to move forward. We need a bigger ground, we need better facilities. The accessibility of Stratford here is probably second to none in the country. And we all know, who go to the club, getting in and out of West Ham becomes more difficult these days, down at the Bowling. So I'm thrilled to bits. It's a major step forward. And to use an old expression, I think the chairman, David Sullivan, said it's a win-win, but to use another cliche, it's a no-brainer. Nobody else is going to be here that's going to bring 35,000 fans plus every 2 weeks. It's a cornerstone of the deal, and it's a major move forward for the club. And as a fan, I wholeheartedly support it. I've been around longer than most of the fans of the club now, and it's very similar that we had a few years ago. I have an association with another ground in North London. I think it's called Wembley, and we went through a similar concerns and apprehensions about not taking the Twin Towers down and so on. And here we are many years later seeing Wembley as it is today. And it'll happen much the same for West Ham. It's a magnificent stadium. It's I think a grade 4 UEFA category. We can host many other things here. And it's also going to be used for the community, much like the Bowling ground is today. So it's just a fantastic day for the club. I wholeheartedly support it. I have done right from the start. I'm a sort of guy, well, tradition's important, history's important for anything at all, but it's life, you have to move on. The Premier League's moving on. We want to be part of that. Our crowds are in the top half dozen, probably in the country, and will increase with the accessibility and a better stadium. And it's all so positive for me.
I think the general consensus of what people have been saying is you're a supporter of West Ham United rather than a supporter of the Bowling grounds. You support the club.
Yeah.
You support them away from home. 40,000 odd supported them at Wembley in May last year and turned it into their home for the day.
Yeah.
So it won't take long for the Olympic Stadium to become West Ham's new home again.
Yeah. Absolutely not. It's the home, it'll be the new home. We all move on in our houses. It's the new home of the club. And for younger supporters, for older supporters who perhaps are tied to the club and the history of the club, and I can understand that to an extent. You've got to make, this deal is now for 100 years, and most of us who are huge fans today, I'm sad, I don't think I'll be around to see the end of the lease, and many of my generation won't be either. But we've got to be concerned for the younger fans who the club encouraging to come in now, and that'll be there for the next 100 years, and many of the young generation won't see the end of this particular deal. So it's I just can't tell you. I thought the panel today articulated the benefits and discussed the questions today that came up and handled it very, particularly well. And they put all the real positives in greater detail than I can. But as a fan, I'm just thrilled to bits.
As a player, you performed at the highest level and you had your best day on the biggest day of your life. Players do rise to the occasion, don't they? And whether or not they're the world-class players that hopefully we're going to attract, or the players that are already at the club, playing in someone like that's going to hopefully make them play better.
It is. In answer to that question, I would say one thing, that Moro would love this. He wanted to play in the biggest and the best stadiums. As a player, you want to do that. And he would absolutely loved it being here today to see the movement forward for the club. And if you are going to attract the better players to retain your Premiership status, and it does put a little question, of course, about does put a little pressure, I guess, on the owners of the club to make sure. I'm sure they make contingencies for that, but it is we can gradually build and improve the development of the club in the next 2 to 3 years. And these things have got to be done gradually. We've had a couple of 4 or 5 difficult years, but we're up. Look like we're going to stay and consolidate in the next 2 to 3 years. The timing's very good. We can gradually improve the team year by year and make it a team that's going to sit comfortably in the top half of the league. And there's absolutely no reason, with the support and the history we have, that we should not be in the top half every season. At the very least, we'll then start talking about more successful things after that. But it's about gradual improvement. The fans are playing an important part. Not be too impatient, I think it's the right word. What we've achieved in the last 2 years has been terrific. We've got up, we're consolidating midway in the table. and it's a gradual improvement. And the fans, as always, will at all clubs, and ours particularly, will play a huge part in continued support and make this at the home for the next 100 years. Players want to play in a modern stadium, a modern and magnificent stadium, and this will be that. So that's a simple answer. You want to play in the best venues, and nobody, if we talk about Moro himself, mentioning him earlier, he wanted to play in the best stadiums of the world, and he's typical of the football players. They want to play in great stadiums. That's what they achieve, and what they aspire to. They want to be playing in the best. And West Ham then, as from 2016, will have one of the best stadiums in the country, if not in the world, with 54,000 people. It's fantastic.
Does it make you wish you could pull on the boots again, you know, one last time?
I'm excited, but not as excited enough to want to play. No, no. I always answer that question the same way.
Yeah.
I've had my time.
Yeah.
I've left the game a long time ago. I had a great time, wonderful times at the club. It's great to see it develop from those days to where we are today. My time's finished. I'm happy having been involved with the game. I never get away from the game because of my association with the club and, of course, with England. But I've had a great time, and I've no desire to play even in this stadium.